It is, well, aside from the unbelievable atrocity of setting fire to this guy, and the deal was he was a pilot for the Jordan Air Force, was dropping bombs on a particular city. Plane crashed, got shot down. I don't know the details of that. They captured him, and the place that they burned him was actually in the city, amongst the rubble of where he was actually dropping bombs.
Oh, wow.
I I read somewhere last night an analysis of this, and Michael, you're spot on. I mean, this thing was, in fact, the time it took. It's suspected to make this thing at the quality. If it's awful to call it quality of the three cameras and everything that it was. It this obviously happened. Well, some reports say what, January or the first week of January, but I read an analyst commenting on this last night, suggesting that the whole cage thing was supposed to represent how Syria, ISIS in Syria, Iraq caged in, and the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth thing. The fact that was a guy who was dropping bombs and burning, if you will, blowing up, as they said, ISIS women and children. That this was the old eye for an eye thing. So it's just reminiscent of the Nazis in World War II, guys.
It totally is. I don't understand why other people do not catch that vision. Now, I know a lot of people on the right do, and I imagine there are some folks on the left who are going, "Oh, hell no! Here we go again. It's 1938, and people are just going all Neville Chamberlain on us." And
Exactly.
I think that that's where some people are, but they're willing to give Obama a chance to lead, and based on what he said yesterday in reference to that video, which he referenced the video. I don't know if he saw it, but he referenced the video, and then he went on. And in fact, I just wrote a piece for IJR about it. And he said, once again, he refused to acknowledge the Islamist underpinnings of ISIS. He said, this act also indicates the degree to which whatever ideology they're operating off of, well, it's bankrupt. It's like, wait, what? Whatever ideology they're operating from? Wait, what? And then here's the chaser. That's the first part of it. Now the chaser is this. We're here to talk about how to make people healthier and their lives better, and this organization appears only interested in death and destruction. I mean, he made a pitch for Obamacare.
Well, we talked about that yesterday, and the words we focused on, as you just did, is this organization, as opposed to this Islamic extremist group, these Muslim terrorists, and then this nonsense about whatever ideology they're operating under. I mean, could this guy be any more detached, Victoria?
It's getting to the point of absurdity. There are enough people who will, if we keep pointing this stuff out, if you guys keep talking about this stuff, enough people will know that he is attempting to message past the obvious. He's trying to tell the big lie. And nobody is, I don't think anybody believes him anymore. I don't think they believe him anymore. I don't know what ideology this is. I mean, come on, who does? Who doesn't? And the other thing is, here we are. Our mission is to keep people healthier. Yeah, we'd like them not to kill us. And then on top of that, we want to keep people healthier. And then prior to that, remember, he said that ISIS does not pose an existential threat. And when you add
I wrote about that as well, and that's, pardon the phrase, but that's bullshit. Of course it does. I mean, as Islamic extremism has, way before 9/11, it exactly poses an existential threat to this country.
It does.
I love, I just put up one, oh gosh, it's been up for maybe a half hour or so now. yesterday Fox showed some of the pictures, and they're one of the only news sites that actually did it. And then on Fox's website, they linked the entire video.
Oh, they did.
They did, yes. Yeah, Mike, I'll put the link up on our page and send it over to you. I mean, this just thing kept me. You and I actually, Mike, we were talking about this earlier today. Of course, this particular story, and a couple things that I said in this. One, that Bret Baier's comments were very interesting. I mean, he starts out. It's a very short little segment. In fact, you know what? No, we don't need to play it. Anyway, so he kind of warns the viewers, hey, the picture that I'm going to show you is incredibly graphic. You may not want to watch it. You definitely don't want to have your kids watch it. And then he says this. He said, but the reason we're showing you this is to bring you the reality of Islamic terrorism and to label it as such. We feel you need to see it, so we will put up images on your screen right now. What was interesting to me about it that I loved is obviously that there explains that he's saying, hey, we want to show you Islamic terrorism. But then he also adds, and to label it as such. So, I mean, it is in stark contrast to the administration's avoidance of the term or statements that the violence has got nothing to do with Islam. I mean, Fox is coming out and directly saying this is Islamic terrorism, full stop.
And to that point, you guys, Shep Smith did not show the video. And Michael, I did not know that they actually linked to it on their site. Kudos to them for doing that, although I'm still not going to watch it. But Shep Smith apparently did a graphic play-by-play of the entire 22-minute video, right?
Yeah, I linked to that as well. Justin put that story up right before I did. And Shep Smith spent 10 minutes describing everything that happened. That was yesterday afternoon. Last night, Baier showed the picture. And then this morning, they actually, on their website, they didn't show it on broadcast, but on their website, they linked to the entire thing.
Hey, can I ask you guys something? This is, of course, graphic in nature, and we're giving them kudos for linking to it because I was kind of surprised that. Now, contrast this to what they claim is the reason for these atrocities, i.e., Muhammad cartoons, and how the news media won't show the Muhammad cartoons for fear of offending someone, but we will show images from an immolation done in an atrocity to humankind on the air. Tell me how that fits. Somebody work the math on that one for me.
Well, you're mixing categories here because Fox has shown those cartoons. CNN, for example, did not show the cartoons.
I don't think Fox has shown those cartoons. Have they?
Yes.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, they showed a bunch of the Charlie Hebdo. They showed a bunch of the Charlie Hebdo. In fact, I saw Mark Stein was talking about it on. I forget who he was being interviewed with, and they showed them. CNN, however, in the source article that I had for my little piece here, I think I got it from HuffPo. They specifically state that CNN intentionally did not show the pictures, show the video. CNN was the one that famously fuzzed out. The guy was standing there holding Charlie Hebdo magazine, and they fuzzed out the cover.
While not, by the way, fuzzing out anti-Semitic cartoons. New York Times, same thing.
No, so your math is a good question, Victoria, but it depends upon which news media outlet you're talking about. Fox is consistent. CNN is consistent. They just happen to be on precisely opposite sides of the same disgusting coin.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Hey, listen, I can't believe we're this far along, but we got to move you along because you write great stuff. You you have this post on IJR. Let me just read the headline and then have you talk about it because this is related. A California high school celebrates Hijab Day to counter, and that's in quotes, to counter Islamophobia. Victoria, really? Tell us about that.
Oh, this is so interesting. And in fact, there are a lot of things I can't say in that piece because we try to be fair and balanced and all that stuff on IJR to our credit.
Oh, cool.
we try. But I mean, I definitely have some viewpoint on this, and my take on it is that this school, it was a Pathways charter school, and it was a little, it's a little school. They've got lots of seniors graduating this year. Some of the seniors decided to do Hijab Day as their senior project. One senior is wearing the veil over her head, not all the way over her head, but the hijab. But she's been doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Now, so there you have it. It sounds like, it's an educational thing, blah, 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 blah. And, but there's no yarmulke day. There's no anything else where we are going to have a Sikh Turban Day. I mean, whatever.
Right.
I mean, it's obviously duplicitous and it's a double standard. But the principal of the school says, no, it's okay because this is a child-led event. And they've done two now. They've done 2 hijab days. Now, let me just get to the point where I tell you that the Council on American Islamic Care, what's the R stand for? They have worked with one of the students to bring this to bear. And in addition to that, the student apparently interns with CARE, according to Robert Spencer, who they, by the way, decry as an Islamophobe. Robert Spencer is one of the biggest authors and researchers into Islam and certainly terrorism. He runs the website called Jihad Watch. He knows up and down, in and out about these individuals that are at play here at CARE. And the bottom line is the Muslim Student Association, CARE, helped do these now 2 events, but they depict him as an Islamophobe because he criticized it. So you see, it's a lose-lose for anybody who criticizes it. See, we need more of these days like Hijab Day because of people like Robert Spencer who are Islamophobes, the student said. I mean, it was just amazing. It was just like,
and of course, CARE being the #1 apologist for everything Islamic in this country.
Well, it is, and the one thing I think I need to hasten to add is that CARE is an organization that was put together by the ISNA, which is an international North American Islamic something Society of North America, and that is an umbrella over the Muslim Student Association, which are all connected to the Muslim Brotherhood. All these organizations are started by the Muslim Brotherhood. How do we know that? From the Holy Land Foundation trial, in which we discovered the virtual Rosetta Stone, if you will, of the Islamic civilizational jihad plan for America. We know this because they wrote it down. We know this because they said so. And so we need to remember that these organizations are part and parcel of an organization that has been dismissed and embraced alternately by this country, but has previously been known to be a terrorist organization.
Bingo.
So
unbelievable. And the idea, I mean, do they get into at all persecution of women and what it actually means within that culture?
No, they judge me by
Blind
what's
eye.
in my head, not by what's on it. They go, we're not being persecuted for having to wear a hijab. We're not doing that. It's because we're embracing our modesty, which I'm a mother of girls, so I'm embracing modesty too. Totally get that. But the thing is that there are women who refuse to wear the hijab and are murdered for it, but they're not mentioning that.
No, not at all. And that right there to me is the total hypocrisy. Frankly, changing topics, we have no time to discuss it. Women's rights movement and war on women. I mean, it's one thing to put on a hijab and smile and say it's not the hijab that oppresses women, it's the illiterate mind. But if these 3 cute little girls were living in Pakistan or, if they're living in Kabul,
Nigeria.
Yeah, well, if they're living in Kabul and they want to go to school to learn how to spell illiterate correctly, they'd be stoned or have acid thrown on them.
That's right.
That's awesome.
That's right. That's absolutely true.
We're out of here.
It's insane. Folks, we're out of time yet again. This is the Right Mics. Mike Miller, Michael Hausum. Thanks, Vic. We will talk to you later. We'll be right back after
Got
the
it.
news.